Hello, my name is Cherie, and if you're new to my channel, thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to be talking about the Singer 404, which is a machine that simply gets no love out here in these streets. The 404 was designed as a successor to the popular 301A. Singer began production of this machine in 1958. However, they cut production short and ended it after just 2 years due to poor sales. While I talk to you about this machine, I'm going to be working on the restoration. I always start by clearing out all the dust bunnies. And as you can see, this machine is a top loading machine with a horizontal loading bobbin. And that was a problem for a lot of customers back in 1958 because it meant that they needed to remove the quilt or whatever piece they were working on out from underneath the machine in order to change out the bobbin. Most people don't like that and much prefer a vertical bobbin where you pull the bobbin out from underneath the machine. This way you can always leave your project where it is when you change out your bobbins. When I was cleaning out this machine, I did not realize that there is a position bracket in there that you can lift up and slide to the side in order to pull the bobbin case out. You may want to do that so that it makes it easier for you to get those little dust bunnies that might be down inside of the machine. The 404 does take a class 66 bobbin, and the class 66 bobbin holds 82% of what a standard class 15 bobbin holds, and that is slightly smaller than what a lot of people are used to. However, this size 66 bobbin is still a lot bigger than what you would find on a Singer 301A, which does take those small Singer featherweight bobbins. I always clean the exterior of all of my machines with goop, and I will leave a link to the goop along with all the other products that I use down in the description box below. When I look at the 404, I can understand why there may have been a problem. The previous 301A offered customers a variety of different colors. These colors included black, oyster white and light beige, and beige, which was a darker color. However, the 404 only offered the oyster white and light beige, which in the opinion of a lot of people is a quite ugly color selection. Not only did the 404 only offer one color option, but also this particular machine was heavier. It didn't have a carry handle, and it also didn't offer the short or long bed extensions that were offered on the 301A. And for these reasons, the machine was not as successful as its predecessor. However, if you were to stop right here and say, as a vintage sewing machine enthusiast, I'm not going to deal with this machine because of those reasons, then you would really be missing out on something great. But before I get to talking about all the great things about this machine, please do take the time to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and tap that notification bell to receive updates. Like many vintage sewing machines, the 404 is easy to get into. You can get into this machine from the top, the side, or the bottom with just a few screws to unscrew, and this is super convenient for being able to service your machine at home. I cannot talk about the easy serviceability of the 404 without talking about the motor. The motor of 400 series Singer sewing machines is much better than the machines of previous generations, and you cannot appreciate how great this motor is without going back and looking at previous generations. The Singer 201 and 1591 were alike in that they both had potted motors that seated on the back of the machine. These potted motors, of course, needed to have motor brushes in order to run properly, and the motor brushes were covered by a Bakelite screw that had to be unscrewed in order to access those motor brushes. Those Bakelite screws are very fragile after being about 60 or more years old, and they break quite often. And the replacements that are available on the market are plastic, and those also break quite easily. So that is one fault of that particular motor, and that the machine cannot be used without the motor brushes. And when you do break one of those screws, you have to wait for another one of the screws to come in before you can get back to using your machine. Also, there's two grease ports on the machine that have to be continually greased in order to keep the motor running properly. And these grease ports get clogged over time and they have to be cleaned out, and they're really, really gross in my personal opinion. And also, in order to access the wiring, you have to remove the armature from the motor. And that is a problem because those wires do wear and break down over time. And it's really hard to get the armature out of the machine because you have to undo the worm gear first before you can even get to the armature to pull it out. The 400 series machines are much improved in that the motor is encased in itself, and the entire motor can easily be pulled out of the machine by just unscrewing one small plate and lightly tapping on the worm gear, and it just slides right out seamlessly. And also, all of the wires are outside of the motor, so you can easily work on the wiring without having to go into the motor in order to get to the wires. The best part about the motor is that it doesn't require any grease to go inside of the motor in order to keep it operational. Now, you may want to add some grease to the worm gear in order to keep it running properly, but other than that, you really don't need any grease inside of the motor. And I was super happy to learn that about this 400 series machine. I don't quite understand why people really did prefer the 301 over the 401A when I look at the motor, because it does have a slightly more powerful motor with a 0.72 amp motor versus the 5.3 amp motor that is on the 301. Of course, there are no Bakelite screws that you need in order to put the motor brushes in. Instead, there's these little brass tunnels that are included with the machine, and you just slide the motor brush right in there and you're ready to go. I purchased the 404 so that I could work on heavy duty projects like jeans and coats. This machine accepts up to a size 18 needle and goes about 1500 in speed, which is quite fast. And a lot of people say that the needle bar and presser bar are made heavier than the ones found on the 301A, but the machine isn't that much heavier, weighing it at only 18 pounds. So that is why I decided to snatch this machine up. Let's go ahead and test out the machine to see how well it performs. I'm going to be testing out this machine with a regular size 14 needle and some 10-ounce denim, which is probably not the correct needle for this, but I just wanted to use it anyway just to see if it would work. As you can see, the stitch is quite beautiful with 2 layers of denim being sewn on this size 14 needle. Now let's see what it's like to stitch out 4 layers of denim. As you can see, the 404 sewed through 4 layers of 10-ounce denim with a size 14 needle without a problem. And the tension is set very low here, so I'm super excited about this machine and plan on keeping it. I will, however, be selling some of my other machines in the future, but I do plan on keeping this one because it is a true warrior. Please let me know your thoughts about the Singer 404 down in the comment section below, as I'll be really happy to hear from you. And if you do already have a Singer 404 and are looking for replacement parts, then please do go over and check out my blog article that has a full list of the parts and where to find them. I will leave a link to that blog article down in the description box below. And as always, I really do appreciate you watching this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to receive more sewing related content. Peace.